Okay, Mr. Felty, can you hear me again?
Yes, sir, can.
Okay, good. This is Bill Markley, and it's August 22nd, 2013, and I'm talking to Mr. Charles Felty, better known as Fred Felty. And we're just going to start out with a few basic questions. Mr. Felty, when and where were you born?
I was born in Newark, Ohio. I don't know the address. I was born in the front room of an apartment above a tavern.
Huh, interesting.
Yeah, that's where my start began, and it used to be called White's Cafe.
Okay.
And the last time I was in Newark, I saw it was tore down.
Oh, okay. When were you here last?
Oh, I was just here there in July.
Oh, okay, good.
Family has a reunion every year, and we try to get to those. So I was just there in July.
Okay, good. Now, what were your parents' names?
Well, my biological parents.
Yes, yeah. We're just asking that of each of the people we interview.
Okay, my biological father name was John Lake.
Okay.
And then I was adopted by a man by the name of Bill Lake, or
Okay.
Bill Felty, I'm sorry.
Okay.
And Mom's name is Barbara.
Okay, thanks. And you were in the home, let's see, 1953 to 54, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you remember, well, let's see. Sorry, I forgot when you said your birth date was. So how old were you when you entered the home?
I was 6.
6, okay. Do you remember anything about your first day or first few days, or was it sort of a blur?
Oh, I remember it real well.
Do you?
Oh, yeah. That was a sad day.
Yeah.
And because me and my brother, of course, we didn't know what was going on.
Yeah.
My mom had left us or abandoned us with my stepdad, and I don't even know how long I'd lived with my stepdad. I don't think very long.
Uh-huh.
And he just would leave me and my brother alone, and he went to work. Well, me and my brother, we'd just take off and run the streets of Newark.
Yeah.
Our home was on Mulholland Street. I remember that vividly, and near Maine, and we would walk to White's Field, which is down by the football field there and by the river.
Right.
And so that day, I don't know how they knew or why or anything, but they came and got us and took us away. And then that night, they put us in this room with a bunch of other little boys, and they had a light on in the bathroom for like a night light, and they put me and my brother in the same bed by that bathroom, and he and I were just crying our little eyes out. We didn't know what was going on, scared to death, and we were just crying like crazy.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And these other little boys, I remember, they kept coming around, and they would kind of pat us and tell us it was going to be okay, and we was going to have fun tomorrow, and that kind of thing.
Interesting.
Oh, yeah, I remember that day just like it happened yesterday.
Really interesting.
It was scary. It was almost, I want to use almost like the word terrifying, because we didn't, I mean, I was old enough to know something was going on, but I didn't know why or what was happening, why we were there, and to us it seemed like a big, scary building.
Yeah, sure.
But that was the first day, and I do remember it very well, and in fact, me and my brother visited the children's home about 3 years ago. We was both home in our family reunion, and we decided to go out there to the children's home. And I did really good until we walked up the steps. It was on a weekend, so no one was there. And we walked up on the front steps, and I looked inside, and I saw that floor. And, boy, there was all kinds of wild emotions happened I wasn't expecting.
Brought back a lot of
thinking about it, when they drugged me in there, I was close to the floor, and I probably was hanging my head, because I was even a shy, timid, quiet little boy even then.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it had a very profound effect on me.
Interesting, man. I can hardly imagine, because my childhood, it was just pretty stable and in one place the whole time. And yeah, it's hard to imagine at that age. I know I would I was pretty shy at that age too. And now, did it take you a while before you felt more settled in, or did you ever feel settled in and more a part of things?
Oh yeah, I think you just learn to adapt very quickly when you're that age.
Uh-huh.
And we did. We adapted very quick, and in fact, from that night on, after we got past that initial night, I never felt threatened or insecure, or I just felt like I was just part of everybody else there, and we just accepted it and fit in, and never seemed to bother us after that.
Huh. Okay. Interesting. It was, you say you've managed to fit in pretty well, and you were able to make friends then?
Yeah, I don't remember too many of them. I do remember one girl. I always kind of wondered what happened to her, but anyway, the only other bad memory I had was our first day of school, because I started in the first grade while I was there, and that was the only other time I remember crying, as I went with this gang of kids to the school.
Huh.
And then when we got into the school, I didn't know where to go or who I was to talk to, or we didn't have orientations or anything like that,
Yeah.
So I just got inside the side door. I remember I went in with all these other kids, and I just stood there and bawled.
Yeah.
And the teachers, they must have been used to children's home kids, and so there was a teacher come over, kind of put her arm around me, and found out who I was and guided me to the right place, and then I was okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you remember what school that was?
Well, I don't remember the name of it.
Yeah.
It was right there by, what is that called, Safeway, and then it was Miller's Restaurant.
Yeah. Okay.
I can't remember the name of the school.
That's okay. I'm still learning my way around Newark. I know there was a Lincoln school and a Hazelwood school nearby, but anyway, it doesn't matter.
Lincoln was a junior high school, and I went to junior high school there.
Okay, that's right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Hazelwood might have been the name of the elementary school. That does sound familiar.
Yeah. Okay. Do you remember anything about the building other than you said when you visited recently, looking at the floor kind of brought back a lot? And do you remember much else about how the building was set up, or the grounds of the institution and that kind of thing?
Yeah. The things that I remember were, all of us ate together, and I remember that those were kind of fun times, but yet we were made to behave. If you didn't, you got sent away from the table and you missed your meal.
Huh.
I remember that was kind of like a disciplinary way of teaching us discipline.
Uh-huh.
But the grounds, I just remember there was a pool. It seemed like there was a pool there to me.
Uh-huh.
And then there was a garden down over one way of the hill, and then down the other way was a barn, and they used to milk cows in there.
Yeah.
And I remember that. And in fact, that's another one of my good memories.
Huh.
Is I got to be. I liked the barn. I liked the cows, and so I'd go down there in the evenings, and I got to be friends with the farm hands, and next thing I know, they would take me and say, "Hey, Fred, you get to set on Bessie tonight," and they'd take me and set me on the cow while they was milking her.
Interesting.
And I thought I was a pretty important dude,
Yeah, sure.
And it made me feel, like they liked me, and I just loved being around the cows and the smell of the barn, and I really enjoyed that. So that was a good memory.
Good. Interesting. Yeah, I grew up going to my grandpa's farm, and I always liked the cows. They always seemed kind of gentle, and so I have good memories of that too. But
that's a good memory.
Yeah. What were the farm hands? Were they older boys at the home, or were they adults? Do you remember?
It seemed to me, the way I remember it, they were older.
Okay.
You know, like they were part of the home. Now, the only thing I remember is that the older boys helped in the garden.
Okay, yeah.
That's what it seems like to me.
Yeah, I think...
Like I said, I was 6 and 7 years old, and of course I probably, you know, that's just the way I remember it.
Yeah, right. Did they have a playground that you remember? I think I heard of a pool for a real shallow pool for smaller children, and then at least at some years they might have had a playground and like a swing set and that sort of thing. Do you remember anything about that?
That was just about it. Now we had a playroom.
Okay.
For the young guys like me, and we could go in there and all of us play and have a hoot and holler good time, you know. But Pop, we called him Pop Zuger.
Yeah.
And Mom and Pop Zuger was their names, and I just remember him real well, you know, that he, I never felt uneasy around him. I always felt safe.
Good.
And I still remember some lessons he taught us boys. I remember one time that there was 2 little guys wanting to fight.
Huh.
And so Papa Zuger says, "Okay, boys, all of us go outside." And we went outside, and he made us all make a ring around these 2 boys. And then the idea, what he told us, don't let them out of the ring.
Huh.
I guess he was just supervising to make sure they didn't break any bones or anything.
Yeah.
And he just let them fight. And so they just rolled around on the ground and wrestled, and they might have scratched each other a little. I don't remember that part, but they just wrestled until they got exhausted, you know. And finally they got all done. I don't remember his exact words, but it was something like this. That look as stupid to you boys as it did to me. And did that make any sense? Did they prove anything? And is this got kind of a line that he used, you know? And I still remember that that was a long time, you know. I remembered that. I said, yeah, that really did look stupid. So we never had, I don't remember ever getting in a fight or getting mad at anybody. I got a little upset because the kids would get in my locker when I'd go to school and play with my toys and a lot. But that's what I remember anyway.
Yeah, okay. Do you remember going in on any field trips or bus trips or anything? Okay, yeah. What any memories of the food?
No.
Okay.
I don't remember ever refusing to eat.
Yeah.
Just dug in, you know. Just happy to have a meal.
Sure. Yeah. I talked to a guy named Paul Hottinger. He actually might have been there around the same time you were. I think he started there as an infant in 1941, and he was there well into the 50s. I think till he was 17 years old. So he would have been a good amount older than you, but yeah, he said he always got his share of food, and he liked it because the food was better than if he had to scrounge it himself. So he didn't complain too much.
I don't ever remember arguing about eating. I dug right in.
Yeah. Okay.
Seemed to have plenty.
Yeah. Good.
I don't ever remember going hungry.
Okay. Good.
I always thought they treated me good. I did, like you say, you just fall into a normalcy, and you felt different because you didn't have parents, but and you felt like people were looking at you differently, but you felt safe when you were there. I did anyway. I never felt threatened or mistreated. I never remember Pop ever doing anything that I viewed as inappropriate or any. And the only way I ever even saw him discipline anybody was making him miss a meal or for the younger kids.
Right.
I don't know about the older kids, but
yeah.
Because they made us sleep in 2 different areas, and the younger kids was in one room. The older boys, they were in another area.
Okay.
So they kind of kept us apart that way.
Yeah.
But we all ate together.
Okay. Did boys and girls eat together, or were they separated then too?
I think the girls ate with us too.
Okay.
They just ate at like their tables, and we ate at ours.
Okay. Okay.
The way I remember it.
Yeah. Okay. Do you remember anything about what a typical day would have been like? Sort of, if getting up in the morning, and then what you might do aside from meals, and then going to bed at night. Any impressions that stand out in your mind about sort of what a typical day would be?
No, not really, because you know, he's in school most of that time, and we just played a lot because you had a lot of guys to play with, you know, a lot of other kids to play with.
Right.
And we had big imaginations. We didn't have TV or anything that I remember, so we was always in the playroom, or we was outside playing, in, you know, in the yard, and so there wasn't anything specifically that stands out as unusual. Just boys being boys.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Let's see. I think I ran through pretty much. Oh, do you remember any other staff there besides the Zergers?
No.
Okay.
Just the farm hands, and there was some what would you call them? Laundry.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, laundresses, I guess, in the old days.
Yeah.
Okay.
They did all the cleaning, the laundry stuff.
Uh-huh. Okay.
But I don't think there's anything else.
Okay.
Now I was going to tell you the only other good memory that I have, as far as a good memory, was that in let's see, when was it? It was in April of 1954. Me and this other girl in the children's home were picked. I don't know how we were picked, but we were picked to model clothes for the local retail stores.
Huh.
And we spent a whole day with this couple. Their names were Mr. and Mrs. James Hitt.
Okay.
And we spent the day with them, and they took pictures of us. And it was a big building. It had big, like, columns outside.
Huh.
And we spent the day with them, and I just remember it was a fun day, and they put our picture in the paper. And, and in fact, that's how we got out of the children's home, from the way I understand it, is that this Mr. and Mrs. Hitt wanted to adopt me, but they didn't want to adopt my brother.
Oh, okay.
And so the only way that I wouldn't go with them would be if someone took me and my brother out.
Uh-huh.
My mom's parents took us out then in 1954.
Okay.
But that day was really, I remember it. I still got the picture. My aunt gave it to me about 3 years ago. She hung on to it all these years, and she said, "Fred, I got something for you." She brought it out, and there's a picture of me and this other little girl. Her name is Rosalie Ferguson.
Huh.
And she and I are holding hands, and we look like a pretty neat little couple, you know.
Look pretty innocent, I suppose.
That was a special day. That was really, really a nice. I just remember it being a very nice time.
Huh. That's great. Glad your aunt saved that picture. Boy, that's.
Oh, I've got it laminated. I've got it down here in my study, and yeah, I keep looking at it a lot of times. I always kind of wanted to meet him. I've gone online, and the last I knew he was still alive. I haven't checked in the last couple of years. But I always thought, well, it'd be kind of, because I didn't know my biological dad, I didn't know my stepdad, and didn't know either one of them.
Yeah.
So I always thought, well, it's kind of nice to meet somebody who did want you.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, you haven't tracked them down yet, huh?
No, I've been. I don't know how to go about it. How do I know that that's really him? And
yeah,
I don't know.
You know what? I used to work at the Ohio Historical Society, and I know they had a list of researchers that people could contact, and at least one or two of them, they were specialists in doing things like well, research for people who'd been adopted. I guess oftentimes tracking down biological parents and that sort of thing. But they might be able to do other sorts of research like this for you. So yeah, if you go to their website, it's ohiohistory.org. Or yeah.
Let me write that down. I got paper here.
Okay.
Ohio.
Yeah, Ohio History, just one word.
Okay.
.org.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, and you might have to click through a few bits of their pages. They should give you a phone number at least you can call. But yeah, that might be worth trying, because I know I can't remember any of their names, but they used to have listings, and if you call them up, they can tell you more than I can. But yeah, but that might be worthwhile.
In the same way that Rosalie Ferguson, I thought it'd be kind of cool just to see whatever happened to her. But then I found a Rosalie, but I said, well, how do you know if it's the
right?
And did you send a letter or a message, and they're gonna think, man, who's this weirdo?
Oh, I understand.
Because she may never even remember me.
Well, you never know. I'll send you a note in the mail after we're done. And I'll give you, there's a guy named Paul Hottinger. I guess I mentioned him before. He was the one I mentioned, talked about the food at the home. He's arranged a bunch of reunions, I think. And so he may have a good handle on names and addresses and that kind of thing. So I'll if I forget to, I'll try to include that in our card we'll send you. And his name is Paul Hottinger, and he lives right here in Newark. And he seems to know a lot of what's going on, so I'll maybe, if you want to contact him, he may be some help trying to track down Rosalie. So I'll get that to you. But okay. Let's see. I don't think I had. I guess about the only other questions I had, and I'll give you time if you want to talk about anything else about the home. But did you live in the Newark area very long after you left the home then?
Oh yeah, until I graduated from high school.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I met my wife at it was a camp meeting there in Newark.
Huh.
And we started dating each other, and that's how I ended up here in Michigan, as that's where she was from. And it's a long story how I got here, but my father-in-law was kind of responsible for me getting up here.
Okay.
But we've been married now for 47 years, so I guess it's worked out all right.
It sounds like it to me.
Yeah.
Huh.
2 kids and 4 grandkids now.
Oh, that's great.
It's worked out good.
That's great to hear.
I'm still a Buckeye at heart.
Well, I didn't want to raise. I didn't know if that would be a sore spot or not, so I wasn't going to raise that topic.
I still wear my Ohio State stuff, and my golfing buddies, they're big Michigan fans, and we have our fun.
I'm sure you do. Well, the Buckeyes around here will be glad to hear you've kept the faith then. So.
Oh, definitely have. Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I was still Buckeye at heart.
Okay, I went to.
I haven't forgotten my roots, I guess you could say.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. Yeah, I went to Pitt, and so I'm a long-suffering Panthers fan. But oh well, I'll root for the Buckeyes when I'm not rooting for Pitt. So. But okay. Now, here's a question, just sort of your general opinion on this. Do you think if today, if a children's home institution would be run the way you think it should be run? Well, in other words, to back up, do you think children's homes would be a good idea today, or do you think it's better to go more into the foster home route like we've done the last few decades?
Well, that's a tough question. In my experience, the children's home, like I said, to me felt like a safe and secure place.
Uh-huh.
It provided me of my necessities.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And I don't have any, other than those 2 experiences, the initial day and the first day of school, everything else seemed to be good to me.
Okay.
I didn't feel insecure or any of those kind of things, like somebody was going to hurt me or anything like that. The only thing I can say is, if the children's homes were run today like they were then, I think it would work out good.
Okay.
With the right people, like Mom and Pop. To me, Mom and Pop Zuger were, I just have nothing but good memories of them. I don't have any bad memories of them.
Good.
But from what I've seen in foster homes, if you're placed in a good foster home, and I know they try hard to get those kind of homes for kids.
Uh-huh.
But you hear some bad stories,
mm-hmm.
and you hear very few good stories.
Yeah. Huh.
So I really don't know how. I've got mixed emotions, mixed feelings about it.
Sure, well, that makes sense.
I've heard with the foster care, to me, a lot of people do it for the wrong reasons. I shouldn't say a lot, but some people do it for the wrong reason.
Uh-huh.
And that is just, it's a way to make money.
Uh-huh.
Now, the people that are really sincere in wanting to provide a good environment for a kid that's had it rough, then I think it's great.
Mm-hmm.
But it's hard for them because, they don't know how they're going to live, how long they're going to live in their home, and then you got to say goodbye. And if you become attached, that's really tough. So,
right.
At least at the children's home, there wasn't that real close bond with Pop as far as a father figure, a mother figure.
Right.
But so there's pros and there's cons to it both ways, and boy, to say which way is the best, that's tough. But for me, there's a stigma that comes with, I think there's a stigma that comes whether you're in a children's home or in a foster home, because you're a kid that seems like nobody wants. And so you grow up feeling, I did anyway, I grew up feeling pretty, well, to be honest, just pretty worthless because you feel like nobody wants you. So there's something wrong with you. And so you grow up with a lot of low self-esteem, self-worth. So those are things that I've had to really work on and deal with, which hasn't been easy, but I think it would happen whether it was in a children's home or a foster home. In a foster home, you may not deal with it as much if you felt wanted.
Uh-huh.
But, when your parents abandon you, it's basically when you're first grade like me. It wasn't an easy time.
Sure.
And it, I have to say, it's probably scarred me, most of my life. But we've dealt with it and got through with it, and I think I've ended up pretty normal.
Sure. It sure sounds like, you had huge challenges, but you made a good result out of it, and so it's a moving story, I think. So.
It still moves me.
Yeah. Sure.
I get kind of choked about it because
sure.
I just grew up wishing I had a dad.
Yeah.
It just didn't happen, and I would look at other kids and say, boy, they're lucky, and I wish I had that. Now, the good thing for me was that I had a couple uncles that were really great role models, and I really admired them. I really respected them. I respected the way they treated their families. I respected the way they treated other people. Admired them for their convictions, and they stood for them. And there was about three, and then I had a youth pastor that I really admired, and he instilled within me a little bit of confidence. And those three men, I don't know what I'd have done without those three guys in my life.
Yeah.
They were just were put there in my life for a reason.
Right. It sure sounds like it to me. That's great to hear. I know my dad had a big positive impact on me and some other guys, and I'm glad to hear about those three men too.
Oh boy, they were an important part of what helped make me who I am today.
Yeah, good.
So,
good.
Anyhow, that's a tough question that you asked. I don't know which way is the best. I think foster home would probably be the best if the kid felt wanted, but like I said, it seems to me that they don't stay in foster homes very long, and then they go to another foster home, and so there's that danger of being rejected several times during your life rather than just once. But I don't know. That is tough.
It is a tough question, and there's not necessarily a black and white answer to it. And I appreciate your thoughtful responses to it. That it makes a lot of sense to me. And there's I guess advantages and disadvantages and different kinds of problems that can come up in either kind of situation. And like you said, so yeah, we appreciate your thoughts on that.
Okay.
But
I'm just being honest with you. That's
sure.
Just how I feel.
Sure, and that's worth a lot to us. Yeah. Any other memories or thoughts about the children's home you want to share with us?
No, that's just about it. Those are the main things that I remember. I had a couple bad experiences, and I had a couple of really good ones. And glad I had the barn down there to go to. It was kind of like my refuge, I guess.
Right, sure.
And I'm glad the farmhands treated me good, because they could have just yelled at me and shagged me out there, but I guess I was good and let me stay.
Yeah, that's good to hear. It's interesting to me to hear about that. Yeah.
Yeah. So. Those guys were. I don't know their names or anything. Well, like I said, they seemed older, and they seemed to be, mature. Well, they put me up on the cow and everything, so I would think that would be an adult action rather than a lesson action.
Yeah, right.
So I think they were adults, and I just liked being there. I just loved being around them and around the cows and stuff. So I know I went down there a lot. I don't know if I went every night, but I went down a lot.
Okay, yeah, good. I think I would have too.
Yeah, that was great.
Well, if you don't mind me asking, what did you end up doing for a living afterwards?
Eventually, first of all went into the military after a year being out of high school.
Okay.
Vietnam was going in hot and heavy, and so I got to go to the military.
Okay.
And then after I got out of the military, spent a year in drafting as a draftsman, and then for the next 39 years, I was a union electrician.
Okay.
Up here, I was a foreman for many years and many jobs. And
okay, good.
Did that. I have been a lay pastor. You know what I mean by that? A lay preacher.
Yes.
In fact, I even became ordained not too many years ago as an associate pastor for a while, and but resigned from that. Now I'm kind of just filling in for our pastor that we go to church at now. Once in a while, but once. I've only done it once since I've been here.
Okay.
But that's what I've ended up doing. I'm 39 years as a union electrician. Just retired about 3 years ago.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, it's been fun.
But now maybe it'll be like all these other retired people tell me they're busier retired than when they were working.
Well, you can be, or you can, you can do the other.
Right.
We're busy, but I've picked up some hobbies. February, I picked up a new digital camera. Now I'm learning all about photography, and especially wildlife photography.
Oh, good.
And so I get to bump through the woods and swamps and wetlands and whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm really having fun with it, just learning, trying to keep the gray cells alive.
Yeah, right. Yeah. There's a lot worse.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's a lot worse things you could be doing, so it keeps you out of trouble. Yeah.
I do that, golf. I'm an amateur radio operator. I took up the bass guitar when I was 60, and I'm still trying to learn how to play that efficiently.
Okay, good.
Yeah, it's what you make out of it, I think.
Yeah, you're right about that, I think. Yep.
Yeah.
Well,
some people, they retire and they think all they do is sit in their chair all day, and man,
yeah,
I can't. No way.
yeah, that's.
I don't want to do that.
I wouldn't either. I'd go crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A few trips. Our son, he lives in Orlando, Florida, and he's got 2 boys, so they're our only 2 grandsons, and we usually make 2 or 3 trips a year to Florida. And then our daughter lives right next door to us, and she's got 2 girls, and my wife takes care of them a good part of the time, so
Okay.
that keeps us going too.
Okay, good. Well, Mr. Felty, it's been a great pleasure and honor to talk to you. I really appreciate it. You've expressed these things so well and described these memories so vividly. I think it's a great addition to what we know about the children's home, and I really appreciate your time.
Well, my pleasure. I was glad I could put my 2 cents in. I only
Sure.
lived there that year, but of course it had a profound effect on us. But
Sure.
on the whole, I'm glad that they did pick us up. I've thought back on many times. Me and my brother were lucky that we even survived or lived, because that summer that we went in the children's home,
Mm-hmm.
I remember going down there to White's Field, and there was that river, and on the playground side of the river, there's a pipe that goes out of the ground,
Okay.
goes across the river, but by the time you get to the other side of the river, it goes underwater.
Okay.
And I can remember me and my brother one day deciding we're going to try to cross the river walking the pipe. And we're 4 and 6, never been in water over our head in our life or anything.
Yeah.
And we tippy-toe out there, and I got out to where the pipe went under the water, and it was real mossy, slippery feeling.
Yeah.
So I got scared, and I had my brother turn around, and he and I turned around and walked all the way back across the river to the side where we started on, and never fell in. And I always said, if there is such thing as a guardian angels, I think we had them with us that day.
Yeah, I think so.
So I think, the children's home, I don't know how they found out about us. I don't know who told them who to come, how to get us.
Mm-hmm.
But they probably did us a favor, because we could have died really easy that day. And
Yeah.
boy, as you can imagine, 4 and 6, we didn't have any fear. We just did what we did,
Regular boys. Yep.
Well, yeah, my aunt, I can remember her coming down and giving me and my brother sandwiches. So she knew we were down there, but and I don't know how long we did that. And man, it's a long ways from Mulholland Street where we live to there. I mean, it must be 12 city blocks or more.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Crossing the intersections, and
Yeah.
you know how we found our way and how we found our way back. I don't even know how we knew that was there, but we ended up at White's Field. I know that, and people knew we were there.
Yeah. Huh.
So anyhow, we survived, and like I said, George's home probably saved us.
Yeah. Yeah. That's. Yeah.
Didn't know it.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, that's good,
Those
boy.
are some of the things that happened to me.
Yeah, that's so interesting. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just
in today's society, wouldn't that be something?
I was going to say it's so different now. I remember when I was a kid, my friends and I would spend all evening outside playing football or baseball or
You bet.
just wandering the streets and yeah. It's a much different world now.
Oh, gee, yes.
Yeah. Now.
Not only that, but I don't know. Probably my parents. Well, they wouldn't have found my mom, but it's a wonder they didn't haul him to jail for negligence or something.
Yeah.
In today's society, they probably would.
Yeah. Sure.
I think. I mean, if they just let their kids run the streets.
I would think so. Yeah. There are. The county children's services agency here would probably, hopefully be on it. Yeah.
Yeah, because like I said, we could have killed ourselves and
Right.
easily.
Yeah.
drowned in that river, and
yeah.
I don't know if they ever found us.
Yeah. Huh. Huh.
You know, in today's society, I think parents would get arrested for negligence.
Yeah, I think so. It's kind of from one extreme to another.
We didn't have a babysitter. We didn't have no one.
Yeah.
Huh. Just our stepdad. He'd go to work and leave us alone. And
yeah.
We did whatever we wanted.
Huh. Wow.
We just took off.
Yeah, that's what a lot of boys would have done.
I knew. I've thought about that several times. How long we actually lived with our stepdad? Because I don't think the way I remember it was very long. It was a really short period of time. Well, it couldn't have been too long because my brother is younger than me, and my mom and our biological father were still married.
Okay.
So if they'd lived together another year, that would have made me at least 3 or 4. And before we lived with our stepdad.
Yeah.
But we didn't live with him probably, very long, maybe a year or so.
Right. Yeah. Huh. Well.
Evidently he couldn't take care of us or didn't want to or something. You fend for yourselves, boys.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad that worked out for you with the home. The children's home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
Could have been worse.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. But you had a lot of challenges to overcome, but you were able to, and yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely some, and like I said, I still deal with it from time to time. But
yeah, sure.
It's just scars that they don't go away that easily. You're reminded every once in a while.
Sure.
But
well, yeah, we really appreciate you being forthright with us and telling us about that. I'm sure it, like you say, I can only try to imagine how it's not easy thinking about that, what you had to go through, and yeah, we really appreciate it.
Okay.
So, and I'll unless you had anything else to add, I wanted to tell you I'll send you that information I mentioned about about the guy who arranges interviews, and we the commissioners are planning to have some kind of event. I guess they're demolishing the building because they feel it can't be salvaged. So they're gonna
starting to come down, is it?
Yeah, that's parts of the roof are down, and from the front it looks fairly good still, but it's kind of in a sorry state inside, but they want to give away bricks to people who are in the home if they're interested, and I think they're talking about having some kind of event towards I guess into the fall sometime now. But if you're interested in that, let us know. I'll try to keep you informed too of what's going on.
Cool.
So yeah, yeah, and I'll be in touch with you by mail then, giving you some more information. So
yeah, I'd be interested in knowing that.
Okay, good.
Pictures here of the home, but that would be kind of neat. I always thought it'd be kind of cool to have part of that tile floor.
Yeah, right. Well, hey, you never know. I doubt if they're gonna try to reuse it anywhere. So I'll try to look into that for you.
Yeah, you can save them.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
A gazillion of those.
Yeah, yeah, right.
Quite a few bricks in that building.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, yeah. In some way,
was it 1884 when that was built? I think.
Yeah, that's
right.
I think you're right. That's when it started, and I think it took them a couple years to actually finish it. So I believe 1886 is when they actually opened it. I believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got pictures of the headstone or cornerstone or whatever you call that thing up there.
Okay, good.
And it says Children's Home and the date on it and everything.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and I wonder. I know they used to put mementos in those cornerstones. I wonder if they'll find anything interesting when they open that thing up.
They could.
Yeah.
But it's up. This head thing that tells the date and everything's kind of up high.
Oh, okay.
It's up toward the roof line. Most of the time you see them down low on the corner.
Right.
But this is up high, and it even says children's home, and then it says the date.
Is it up above the?
Right.
The
But
big...
I can't find it. I got it here somewhere.
Okay, I think I've seen it. Is it up above the main entrance?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I've seen that. I know what you mean. Yeah. Huh.
But that's pretty interesting.
Yeah. I think I'm sure they'll try to save that. And
I'm sure they will. Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
So that'll be some. It's in stone.
Yeah. Right.
As they say.
Written in stone. Yeah. Yep.
That really is.
Yeah.
So. Okay, well, yeah, keep me informed on that. That'd be kind of cool.
Sure, I'll be glad to, and yeah, I'll send you that other information. And if you ever have any questions or want to get in touch with us, feel free. And we'll I might have mentioned this. We plan to make CDs of these recordings, and I'll send you a copy of that too, in case you'd like to have a copy of it. So, if you're like me, you don't like the sound of your own voice. I'm that way, but
that always frightens me.
but your kids and grandkids will enjoy having it, hopefully. So
Okay.
Anyway, but yeah, we'll be in touch, and yeah, thanks again. It's really been great talking to you, and I appreciate all these things you've had to say in a very thoughtful way. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Okay, well, like I say, we'll be in touch, and thanks again. I hope you have a good day up there in Michigan.
Yeah, you have a good day there in Ohio.
Okay, all right, we'll try.
Okay.
We'll plan on it. You too. Thank you.
All right.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.